Welcome, eco-warriors and tech enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the wild world of AI regulation in environmental contexts. It's like trying to teach a robot to recycle while blindfolded tricky, but necessary.
Ah, yes, because nothing says save the planet, quite like a 500-page regulatory document. Right, Mark?
Exactly, Tom. We're exploring how policymakers are attempting to wrangle the AI genie while keeping Mother Nature happy. It's a delicate dance of innovation and conservation, with a dash of bureaucratic tango thrown in for good measure. Let's kick things off with the core challenge: balancing AI innovation with environmental protection. It's like trying to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle AI. Exciting, but potentially disastrous if you drop the ball.
Or in this case, if you drop the ecosystem. So, what's the game plan for keeping our silicon friends in check while they help save the planet?
Well, Tom, imagine you're hosting a party where the guests are AI algorithms and the venue is Earth. You want everyone to have a good time, but you also don't want them trashing the place. That's where environmental impact assessments come in.
Ah, the classic pre-party inspection. So we're basically giving AI a breathalyzer test before it interacts with nature?
In a way, yes. These assessments look at things like energy consumption, potential impacts on biodiversity, and long-term effects on natural resources. It's like a health checkup for AI systems before they're let loose in the wild. Now let's talk about something that's as precious as water in a desert: environmental data. Tom, imagine if Google Maps suddenly revealed the location of every endangered species nest.
Yikes. I can see the rare Pokon Mongo players causing havoc already. So how do we keep this data under wraps?
Enter data governance and privacy protection. It's like being a librarian for the planet's secrets. We need clear guidelines on how to collect, store, and share environmental data without accidentally creating a poacher's paradise app.
So we're walking a tightrope between open science and Fort Knox for nature's data?
Exactly. The challenge is finding that sweet spot where researchers can collaborate and innovate, but sensitive information about vulnerable ecosystems doesn't end up on the dark web's equivalent of eBay. Now let's tackle the ethical elephant in the room, or should I say, the ethical AI in the forest. We need guidelines to ensure our AI friends don't go rogue and start tagging wildlife like overzealous Instagram influencers.
Oh boy, I can see it now. This rare bird brought to you by NatureBot 3000. So, how do we keep AI on the straight and narrow?
Well, it's all about setting clear boundaries. Ethical guidelines for AI in environmental applications cover everything from how we use AI for wildlife tracking to deploying autonomous systems in protected areas. It's like creating a rules of the jungle handbook, but for robots.
I'm picturing Asimov's laws of robotics, but with a don't step on the flowers clause.
Exactly. And let's not forget transparency and explainability requirements. We need to be able to understand why AI makes certain decisions. It's like asking your GPS to explain why it's taking you through a swamp to get to grandma's house. Now, Tom, let's put on our Wardley mapping hats and take a bird's eye view of this regulatory landscape. If we map out the components, we see some interesting patterns emerging.
Ah, Wardley mapping, the cartography of the business world. What insights can we glean from this map, Mark?
Well, looking at our map, we can see that adaptive regulation mechanisms are still in the early stages of evolution. They're custom-built and not yet standardized, which reflects the rapidly changing nature of AI technologies.
So, we're essentially trying to build a regulatory framework on shifting sands?
Exactly, and if we look at the value chain, we see that environmental impact assessments and ethical guidelines are closer to the user needs. They're more visible and directly impact how AI is applied in environmental contexts.
Interesting. And where does international cooperation fit into this map?
Great question. International cooperation is positioned as a key component that spans across multiple elements. It's essential for developing standardized approaches and preventing regulatory arbitrage.
So, in Wardley map terms, we should be looking to move international cooperation and adaptive regulation mechanisms further along the evolution axis to make them more efficient and standardized.
Spot on, Tom. That's exactly the kind of strategic thinking this map encourages. By focusing on evolving these components, we can create a more robust and flexible regulatory framework that can keep pace with AI advancements while protecting our environment. Well, folks, we've navigated the treacherous waters of AI environmental regulation, from data privacy swamps to the ethical highlands. Remember, it's not about putting a leash on our AI companions, but teaching them to be good environmental citizens.
Indeed, Mark. It seems the key is to create a regulatory ecosystem that's as adaptive and resilient as the natural ones we're trying to protect. Who knew saving the planet could involve so much paperwork?
That's bureaucracy for you, Tom, saving the world, one form at a time. Until next time, listeners, keep your carbon footprint small and your AI ambitions big. This is Mark and Tom, signing off from the Green AI Frontier.